Hello and welcome to this session. In the earlier session, we had seen some of the data definition language commands in MySQL. In this session, let us continue with the data manipulation language commands, how they are to be given, what are the various commands that you have in MySQL and other things. So, at the end of the previous session, I had given you one exercise, the banking thing. Hope you had done the DDL statements upon that particular banking database. You had created the tables and most probably you had applied the index, the alter table and other commands that we had discussed in the earlier session. Let us come with the other set of commands called as the data manipulation language commands, those commands that we can alter the record values in the tables. Let us see how to insert the values in the tables. Suppose in the earlier session we had created several tables like the theme park table, the employee table, the sales table, sales in table and the other tables. So, those are the kind of relational schema or those are the kind of description or table creation that we had done and we have not inserted the values. So, let us insert some values and see what happens. So, the command that we have to give, the SQL command that we have to give in order to insert the values is insert into, those both the words are keywords, insert into, then you have to specify the table name, values, whatever the like the fields that you had set for. Suppose for the theme park, suppose if I had set for 7 fields, all the 7 values needs to be given. If at all there is a constraint called as not null induced in one of the field, you have to specifically give value to that. So, let us see by giving the values. The order in which you insert data is very much important. As you see the column name exists, likewise you have to select the value and you have to give the value of that particular column. So, for example, because the ticket uses Spark code to reference the theme park table Spark code, an integrity violation will occur if those theme park table Spark code values does not yet exist. So, these things you have to take care. So, there should be an order to be seen in order to induce the values into the tables, like whatever the way that we had created the database, in the same way, in the same fashion you have to give the values also. Therefore, you need to enter the theme park rows before the ticket rows. So, theme park we have to create. Why? Because theme park ID, the code needs to be inserted first, otherwise we are using that particular theme park code in various tables. Until and unless we provide the value to the theme park code, so we can't update the ticket and other row other tables. So, this is the values we are inputting to the theme park table. Insert into, here I am giving the database the data table name as theme park and values. First is the code, theme park code, then the theme park name, the city and then the country. So, country here we are only taking 2 characters, IN for India. So, this is the code, then comes the name, then comes the city, it is the park is existing and then the country. So, there is another second record we had inputted and then now I am coming to the ticket one, ticket table. So, insert into ticket, this is the table name, values, ticket ID and then ticket cost, whether he is child or adult, then we are giving the code of that is nothing but the code that we had given over here, the theme park code TP1001, TP1002, TP1003, the code that we had given for each and every theme park, that code I am giving over here. So, that is what I am telling you. Suppose if you insert the values ticket first and then later on theme park, it does not allow. Why? Because here we are using TP1001, the code of the theme park as the foreign key. So, first we have to input the primary key values and then only we can come to the next table where in which it is being referred. So, here as an example I had inputted 4 values and then you can see here, one is the child ticket, we had given the value of 50 rupees and then for adults it is been set to 80 rupees. Likewise, you can like populate the database for all the other tables also. Then comes the commit command. Any changes made to the table contents are not physically saved onto the disk until and unless you use this particular command called as the commit. We had inputted the values for all the tables. Until and unless you use the command called as commit, the values are not being stored onto the disk. So it is must and should that you have to like commit before you exit from the database. The commit command will permanently save any changes such as rows added, attributes modified and rows deleted. All these things will be taken care by the command that we give at the end called as the commit command. So the syntax is nothing but you have to give only the keyword, that is commit, and then you have to put the semicolon. Then retrieving data from a table. So already you had populated the database with so many values, all the data tables with so many values. Then how to retrieve them? So there is a SQL command called as select, and then you have to select the various columns and then from which table you want and what is the condition list. So these are the three things that you have to remember. One is you have to mention the column list, and then you have to give the table list, and then the third part is you have to mention the conditions. Then only you can retrieve the data. So this is nothing but a retrieval query wherein which we retrieve information from the stored databases. The simplest query involves viewing all columns in one table. Suppose if you use the wild character called as the star, like here I had shown you one example. To display the details of all theme parks in the theme park database, type the following. So select star from the theme park. So by giving this particular command here, star with a wild character called as star, it displays all theme parks in the theme park database. And then select attract underscore number, name, and then capacity from attraction table. This is also one way to represent, wherein which here I am not providing any condition. So directly it is we are getting the attraction number, name and capacity to be displayed from the attraction table. Then comes another example wherein which I want employee number, last name, his first name, hire date from the employee table. Likewise, we can retrieve the data depending upon the requirements from the table that needs to be selected. Then there is another command, data manipulation command called as the update. So here also three things you have to remember. One is the table name, the other is set column name expression, and then the condition list also we have to provide. Here this condition list once again is an optional thing. You can provide or you may not provide. So let us see the example. If you want to change the attraction capacity of the attraction number so and so from 34 to 38, I want to change the capacity of that attraction. So the primary key is attraction number. So I have to give an SQL command update space attraction set attract capacity is equal to 38, where I am using one condition, wherever the attraction number is 10034, that I am setting it to 38. So in this way I can use the update command. So update attraction, suppose if I want to update the age of a person to be set to 14 for all the persons for any ride, that is attraction, for any attraction or the ride, only 14 is the age limit. So what I can, minimum age limit. So what I can do is I can use the command to set the age 14 for all its rows or for all its records. So enter the following SQL update command to update the age a person can go on a specific ride in a theme park. In order to fulfill that particular query, I can give update attraction set attract age to 14. So in this way I can set 14 as the age for all the records under attract underscore age. Then comes the rollback. Suppose you had made a mistake in updating attraction age I haven't given the command called as the commit, then what I can do is I can use a rollback command, wherein which it undoes any changes and brings back the data to the values that existed before the changes were made. So, I can use a rollback command, I can get back, and then once again I can change whatever the modifications that I have to do, and later on I can use the commit command. So, in order to use the rollback command in MySQL, first of all you have to set it to 0. So, there is a command called as set auto commit is equal to 0. This command I have to give, and this command needs only to be executed once in a session, and later on I can use the rollback. So, just see, in order to restore the data to the pre-change condition, first of all I have to give set auto commit is equal to 0, and then I can give the command called as the rollback. Suppose if you want to delete the entire row, so entire row means it is nothing but the record. It is easy to delete a table row using the delete statement, and the syntax is as follows: delete from so and so table where the condition list. So, you can mention the condition and you can delete the row or else the record from the table. So, to delete a specific theme park from the theme park table, you could use the park underscore code as shown in the following SQL command. Suppose if you had populated the theme park with various park codes, and if you want to delete one of the record with park code TP1001, so the entire record will be lost. In order to delete that particular record, you have to use the command delete from the theme park, that is the table name that I am selecting, where park underscore code is equal to TP1001. So, that particular entire record will be deleted. Then what is a subquery? So, till now we had seen the main queries wherein which you do not have any nesting loops or else nested structures. So, a subquery is nothing but query within a query, or else I can call that one as a nested query or inner query. So, there will be one or two inner queries existing in a subquery. First of all, the condition is that the inner query always executes first and later on the outer query executes. So, that thing you have to remember whenever you are placing subqueries. Then there are various comparison factors. You can compare, like wherever there is the option of the comparison, option of the condition list, there I can use the comparison operators, and the list is shown over here. All these comparison operators like is equal to, greater than equal to, less than equal to, between, in, like, is null, is not null, all these comparison operators are being supported in MySQL. Let us see an example one by one how the greater than works. So, here I had given one simple SQL statement: select park code, ticket type, ticket price from ticket where ticket price is greater than 50. So, here this will display the park code, ticket price and ticket type of all the tickets where the ticket price is greater than 50 rupees. So, all the three fields will be displayed, and here we are using a operator called as the greater than. Then comes in between. So, between is nothing but in order to mention the range, like from 30 rupees to 90 rupees, whatever the ticket price are there, select from that. So, here select star from ticket, here I am selecting all the fields, that is why I am using the wild character star from ticket table where ticket price between 30 and 90. All the rows wherever you find the ticket prices from between 30 and 90 are being displayed from the ticket table. So, to select employee number, attraction number, hours per attraction from hours table to display the hours between 5 to 10. So, this is how I am selecting the range. Whoever works between 5 and 10 hours, only those employee numbers and attraction numbers needs to be displayed from the table called as the attraction table. So, here I am selecting three fields to be displayed, and I am giving the condition as I am mentioning the range as 5 to 10 hours. Then there is another operator called as in operator. This in operator is used to test for values whether it is existing in the data table or not. Thus the following query finds only the rows in the sales line table that match up to a specific sales transaction, that is transaction number is either or. So both the transaction numbers I am taking into consideration, and I have to see whether it exists or not, whether any sales line transaction exists or not. So for that I have to give select star. Once again I am using the all the fields to be taken care. Select star from sales line where transaction number is 12781, 67593. So both, if at all both exist, those will be displayed, otherwise either of them exists, that will be displayed. So we are here testing the values whether they exist or not. Just see here, all the fields are all the fields with transaction number 12781 and then 67593 are being displayed. So we are here taking only, we are not taking the range, however we are selecting only some transaction numbers whose information is being displayed. So next comes the like operator. So whenever you want to match certain patterns, then we use the like operator. Here standard SQL allows you to use the percentage symbol, underscore symbol in order to match the characters. Like percentage symbol I can use for as many characters as you want, but the underscore is used only to support one character. Instead of underscore it can support only the replacement of one character, but the percentage symbol you can select for as many characters as you want. Like just see here another example I had given, to find all employee rows whose first names begin with a letter A. So here upon presenting this particular query, you will get all the employee names whose name starts with alphabet A. So after that A, I do not know how many characters are there, so I have to place a percentage. So just see here, select employee last name, first name and then employee number from the table employee, where employee first name like a percentage. Here I am using the I am not using the underscore. I want as many characters as they are present in the table under the column first name of employee with starting with A. So just see here, only two names were existing, Arshad and then Arif. First name is Arif and Anne. So here I had set my query in such a way that only first names wherever A is present, those needs to be displayed. So you have two records displayed on the monitor. Then comes is null. So this is nothing but, as we had discussed in the earlier session when we were talking about the creation of the tables, we had introduced one constraint called as null, not null. So here this is nothing but a kind of checking factor in order to retrieve the data to check for all null attribute values. So whether it is null or not, those particular things can be checked and then we can retrieve. So the query goes on like this. The query lists all attractions that do not have an attraction name assigned. So wherever there is no attraction name assigned, that is null value is there, that needs to be displayed. So it is a kind of checking factor. Whenever there is a null value present in a table attraction, that needs to be displayed. So select star from attraction table where attract underscore name is given as null value. So here one of the attraction number with the number 1002. So in this particular attraction, against this particular number attraction number, no name against to the attraction name was given. So it got displayed. The query that we had placed is select star from attraction table where attraction name is null. So that is why wherever the value was not there, that got displayed. Then let us come to the other set of operators called as the logical operators. So SQL supports multiple conditions in a query. One condition to be checked, as well as the second condition also needs to be satisfied, as well as the third condition and condition also to be satisfied. In that sense, if at all the conditions are being satisfied, then you have to display certain information. There we are putting at least 1 to n conditions, and all conditions need to be satisfied. So we have to use certain kind of operators called as the logical operators, and each and every condition needs to be satisfied, means we have to use AND. Suppose if either or, this condition, condition 1 or condition 2 may be satisfied, so then we can take OR as the combining factor, or else the check the logical operator between condition 1 and condition 2. Once again, for negation kind of thing we can use NOT. So NOT has the highest precedence, followed by and then last one is the order. So this is the priority. First we have the highest precedence set for NOT, and then comes the and third comes the OR. However, it is strongly recommended to use parenthesis to clarify the intended meaning of the query. Suppose if a condition 1 is given, it should not be just left like that. However, you can put it in the parenthesis, you can use the logical operator whatever that is meaningful to you, and or not, and then give condition 2. So everything needs to be given in the parenthesis, so that a clear cut intended meaning of the query is known. Here we can see the use of the AND operator. The logical AND connective is used to set up a query where there are two conditions which must be met for the query to return the required rows. So both the conditions, condition 1 as well as the condition n, needs to be satisfied. So in that case we have to use AND operator. Just see here, the following query displays the employee number and the attraction number for which the number of hours worked by the employee is greater than 3 and the date worked is so and so. Here one condition we are keeping it as number of hours greater than 3, and the other condition is the person needs to work on so and so date for greater than 3 hours. So two conditions were given over there and it should meet both the conditions. So for that particular kind of query I can use select employee number, attraction number from hours table where hours per attraction greater than 3 and date worked is on so and so. So in this way I can give here worked. After this particular thing there is a simple mistake over here, I have to use the, instead of greater than I have to use here is equal to. So there is a slight correction, please correct it in your queries. So this is how I had used the query. Then comes the OR operator. So if you want to list the names and countries of all theme parks whereof invoice numbers park country is equal to India, that is I had mentioned as IN, or park country is equal to US. So I may write a query by giving select park name, park country from theme park where park country is India or park country is equal to US. So park name and park country will be displayed. I am selecting only two countries, India or US, and the records will be displayed for India and US only. So among the logical operators you have the last one is the NOT operator. The logical operator NOT is used to negate the result of a conditional expression, where in which if you want to see a listing of rows for which employee number is not 106, here I am restricting only 106 as the employee number, and the query would look like select star from employee where I am using negation here. So wherever the employee number is 106, it should not display. So for that reason we use the NOT operator. And before concluding this particular session, Let us recap what we had seen today. I had started with several DML commands and then their syntaxes, how they works on the database, and then we had seen certain conditional operators and logical operators. In the earlier session, I had given you one simple exercise to create banking database. There we had listed at least 7 to 8 tables. Hope you had created the table creation. Now what is your next exercise is to insert values for all the tables and then to put certain queries against those tables by using the conditional operators that we had discussed and the logical operators that we had discussed. Thank you for viewing.